AAA abdominal aortic aneurysm. OPMC antibiotic-associated pseudomembranous colitis. AAT activity as tolerated. AAL anterior axillary line. AAOX3 awake, alert, and oriented, ×3. ABCD airway, breathing, circulation, disability. Asymmetry borders color diameter, rating for cancer. AB acute bacterial endocarditis. ABG arterial blood gas. ABI acquired brain injury. Ankle brachial pressure index. ABMT autologous bone marrow transplantation. ABN abnormal. ABPA allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. ABX antibiotics. ACB aortocoronary bypass. AC and BC air conduction and bone conduction, Weber test. ACC accommodation, I. Acute coronary care unit. ACD anemia of chronic disease. ACDF anterior cervical discectomy and fusion. ACEI angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. Acetylcholine esterase. ACL anterior cruciate ligament. ACLS advanced cardiac life support. ACS acute coronary syndrome. ACTH adrenocorticotropic hormone. ACU ambulatory care unit. AD Alzheimer's disease. Acute distress. Right ear. ADA adenosine deaminase. ADC AIDS dementia complex. AD attention deficit disorder. ADH antidiuretic hormone. ADHD attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHR autosomal dominant hypophosphatemic rickets. ADLS activities of daily living. ADP adenosine diphosphate. ADR adverse drug reaction. AED automated external defibrillator. Antiepileptic drug. AEM ambulatory electrocardiogram monitoring. AF atrial fibrillation. Atrial flutter. Amniotic fluid. AFB acid fast bacilli. AFib atrial fibrillation. AFO ankle-foot orthosis. AFP alpha-fetoprotein. AG antigen. AGA, antigliadin antibodies. Appropriate gestational age. AGC atypical glandular cells. Ages criteria, age, grade, extent, size, for tumors. AGN acute glomerulonephritis. AHF antihemophilic factor. AHG antihemophilic globulin. Aryl hydrocarbon hydroxylase. AHR airway hyperreactivity. AI artificial insemination. Aortic insufficiency. AICD automated implantable cardioverter defibrillator. AID artificial insemination by donor. AIDS acquired immune deficiency syndrome. AIH artificial insemination by husband. AIHD artificial insemination by pooled husband and donor semen. AIPD acute infectious and parasitical diseases. Autoimmune progesterone dermatitis. Acute inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. AIRB angiotensin II receptor antagonist. An acute interstitial nephritis. ACE adenocarcinoma in situ. aka above knee amputation. Also known as alla-aminolavulinic acid. ALC alcohol. ALK anti-lymphocytic globulin. ALI acute lung injury. ALK phos alkaline phosphatase. ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Allergies. ALP alkaline phosphatase. ALPS autoimmune lymphoproliferative syndrome. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Advanced life support. Alt-alanine transaminase. AMA, advanced maternal age, 35 years or greater. Against medical advice. Antimitochondrial antibody. American Medical Association. AMB ambulate. AMC arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. AMI acute myocardial infarction. AML acute myeloid leukemia. Ampadenosine monophosphate. Ampule. Ampere. AMS, altered mental status. Acute mountain sickness. Atypical measles syndrome. AMT amount. ANA antinuclear antibody. ANCA antineutrophil cytoplasmic antibody. ANF atrial natriuretic factor. ANP atrial natriuretic peptide. ANS autonomic nervous system. ANT anterior. ANTR asymmetrical tonic neck reflex. ANUG acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. ANO aware and oriented. ANDOX 3 alert and oriented, times 3. ANDOX 4 alert and oriented, times 4, to person, place, time, and circumstances. AODM adult onset diabetes mellitus, DM type 2. AOM acute otitis media. AP, anteroposterior. Alkaline phosphatase. Angina pectoris. ANP auscultation and percussion. APAP automatic positive airway pressure. APC, atrial premature contraction. Antigen presenting cell. Activated protein C. APD, adult polycystic disease. Automated peritoneal dialysis. APKD, adult polycystic kidney disease. APST, autoimmune polyendocrinopathy, candidiasis, ectodermal dystrophy. APGAR, appearance, pulse, grimace, activity, respiration, used to assess newborns. APH, antepartum hemorrhage. APL's, antiphospholipid syndrome. APMP, acute posterior multifocal placoid pigment epitheliopathy. APR, abdominoperineal resection. APS, autoimmune polyendocrine/polyglandular syndrome. APSIC, anisoylated plasminogen streptokinase activator complex. APTT, activated partial thromboplastin time. AR, aortic regurgitation. ARB, angiotensin II receptor antagonist. ARC, AIDS-related complex. ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome. Adult respiratory distress syndrome. ARF, acute renal failure. ARC, arginine. ARM, artificial rupture of membranes. AROM, active range of motion. Artificial rupture of membranes. ART, antiretroviral therapy. Assuming room temperature. ARVC, arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy. ARVD, arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia. As aortic stenosis. Atherosclerosis. ASA, acetylsalicylic acid, aspirin. ASAP, as soon as possible. ASC, ambulatory surgery center. ASCAD, arteriosclerotic coronary artery disease. ASCUS, atypical squamous cells of undetermined significance. ASCUS, atypical squamous glandular cells of undetermined significance. ASD, atrial septal defect. ASCVD, arteriosclerotic vascular disease. ASHD, arteriosclerotic heart disease. ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. ASOT anti-streptolysin titer. AS assessment. AST aspartate transaminase. ASX asymptomatic. AT antithrombin. Angiotensin. ATA anti-transglutaminase antibodies. ATB antibiotic. ATCC American Type Culture Collection. ATG antithymic globulin. AT3 antithrombin 3. ADN acute tubular necrosis. ATNR asymmetrical tonic neck reflex. AXR abdominal X-ray. ADP, acute thrombocytopenic purpura. Adenosine triphosphate. Anti-tachycardia pacing. ADP atopical. Atrial trans-retinoic acid. ATS anti-tetanus serum. AV, arteriovenous. Atrioventricular. AVM arteriovenous malformation. AVN avascular necrosis. AVR aortic valve replacement. ANW alive and well. AX axillary. AZT azidothiamidine. BX biopsy. BAC blood alcohol content. BAL blood alcohol level. Bronchoalveolar lavage. BAO basic acid output. BAT brown adipose tissue. BBB blood-brain barrier. Bundle branch block. BC, bone conduction. Blood culture. BCC basal cell carcinoma. Blind carbon copy. BCG bacil calmette-guerin. BCP birth control pill. BCX blood culture. BBMF bone break, me fix, orthopedic consent form. BD, bipolar disorder. BDD body dysmorphic disorder. BDI Beck depression inventory. B, barium enema. Base excess. BFP bundle forming pilus. BGAT blood glucose awareness training. BGL blood glucose level. BIB brought in by. BIBA brought in by ambulance. BiPAP bilevel positive airway pressure. BiVAD bilateral ventricular assist device. BK bradykinin. BKA below the knee amputation. BL cold blood culture. BLD blood. BLS basic life support. BM bowel movement.